a woman laying lifeless in a puddle of blood, with her neck tore open, lays there lifeless, resulted to be a crime of a vampire. Then a van pulls up. Some men in suits arrive, and another man in a three-piece suit says, "Okay, gentlemen, we have 60 seconds. Let's make this look like something else other than a supernatural thing." The people in suits begin to clean up, as if it's a crime scene cleaning. Then the man in the suit says, "Director, sir, we found another one. These vampire killings are regular occurrences, but they've been more frequent than usual. Someone tells me that this is a vampire that is not happy and he's killing for revenge, or she, whatever." Then, on the other end of the phone, a broad man in a three-piece suit, round glasses and sideburns, says, "Well, do keep me posted. Thank you, Agent." "You're welcome, Director." Then the director makes his way to a control room where he talks with one of the technicians who have picked something up on the monitor. Director Henry, we have picked up some cameras on board a cargo ship, a small one. It seems that 6 days ago, something was salvaged out of the North Sea. A crate. And do we know what was in this crate? I don't know, but this woman was present. Looking and zooming in on the shot of the woman, is revealed to be Tamara. Then Henry says, "Well, it seems that he has been found, if the rumors are true, which they most likely are. We best find the latest descendants of Abraham Van Helsing and Mina and Jonathan Harker. And have we kept track of them, sir?" "I believe so. Good work." Meanwhile, the next day, Dracula sits in a room blocking out the sun whilst watching television, whilst drinking a glass of blood. Just sat there observing the television. Meanwhile, Tamara says to one of her guards, "What's he doing?" "Fuck all. I don't know why you bothered bringing him up from the surface." "Because my great-grandfather told my grandfather and told his father that Dracula was the familiar of my great-great-grandfather Thomas Renfield, and they've spent generations looking for him, and I've actually been the one to find him. It's a blood-given heritage. I am his familiar, and I am his lawyer. So if you excuse me, I will go and speak with him." Tamara then enters the room, disgusted by a terrible stench of rotting decay. She then says, "Master?" Dracula is sitting there saying, "It's incredible, this invention called television, where moving pictures have sound and color. It's incredible. You know, when I was last awake, I heard that these people had this moving picture of a train that scared people because they thought it was going to come out and run them over. I never did see that." "Master?" "What is it you want, Renfield?" "Look, it's the 21st century. Women have come a long way in equal rights. We can vote now. In the 1970s, we earned the right to equal pay as to men. Now, I am the latest descendant of the Renfield bloodline, so I am your familiar, whether you like it or not. I guess it will have to be getting used to. This century is so different now, like religion is not as, well, religion's gone with the times. People are having same-sex relations and choosing genders, and also those slaves didn't just get their freedom in the 19th century, but they're now among the others. Yes, those days are way behind. Although there are still people out there that are like that and are backwards, thinking we should be, well, things should be as they were in the past. But I have something for you, Master. We've managed to detect Matthew Van Helsing, the descendant of Abraham Van Helsing, who I believe put you in the North Sea, and two siblings, Gloria and Stuart Harker, the great-great-grandchildren of Mina and Jonathan Harker, and of course Matthew Van Helsing, the great-great-grandson of Abraham Van Helsing. Seems they, well, like my great-great-grandfather, kept the stories of you alive and passed them down from generation to generation. Matthew Van Helsing seems to own his own outdoor shop, which I think's a cover, because he goes out hunting monsters at night. Right. And what about this other thing you mentioned to me? A secret society? Prodigium. Yes. They are a secret organization, and like I said, all these killings you've been doing, you may be drawing their attention. I don't give a fuck. There is only one thing on my mind, and even though it is the latest descendant and not the Van Helsing that did this to me, he looks and sounds like him enough, and there's only that on my mind. Revenge. Later, as the night comes, Matthew Van Helsing is fighting a vampire, and at first struggles, he manages to pierce it with a stake into the heart, then hammering it down for a second one, and then one final strike to dust it. Another vampire runs up to him, and he then decapitates it with a hidden blade under his sleeve. Meanwhile, Gloria and Stuart, both waiting to hear from him, saying, Matthew Abraham Van Helsing, you better answer us. I'm fine. And enough with my middle name, Abraham. That was my great-great-grandfather's name. Yes, well, we still remember it. Then Stuart comes out of the van, as he has been technically monitoring Van Helsing, whilst Gloria is in a remote location. Well, those weapons work to treat. Yeah, good technical stuff from you, man. Come on, the sun will be rising soon. I need to get my few hours sleep before I open the store. Then, from a building top, a wolf is stood on there. It's Dracula looking. The wolf then jumps off and turns into a bat, flying away. Then he reverts back to his human state, where he returns to the Renfield firm, saying, "I found him." Then Tamara says, "Then, Master, why didn't you finish him?" "I want to fight him. A good challenge." "Bring me one of the corpses. I want to send him a message." The next day, Matthew wakes up. With it being 11:30, he then begins to open his store, but then notices there's a package at the door. He opens it. Noticing it reeks of decay, he finds it's a severed head from a body, and inside is a note saying to Abraham, or Matthew Van Helsing, "Matthew Abraham Van Helsing, this is Dracula. I have an old vendetta with your dynasty, and I want to face you. Meet me tonight at midnight at this location." Then Matthew speaks with Gloria and Stuart, saying, "It's him. I know it's him. Ever since I felt that presence about a week ago, I knew something was not right. Dracula is back. But your great-great-grandfather and my great-great-grandfather both made sure he wouldn't get out. Apparently they just put him in the crate. He should have decayed. No, he's a vampire. We have to face him. Be sure to be on my standby. For tonight I face this monster once and for all." Dracula feeds on the blood of a homeless man in a warehouse. Then he sees Matthew Van Helsing armed and ready. He then stops feeding on the homeless man that is now dead and says, "Ah, Matthew Van Helsing, you know you look so much like your ancestor Abraham." "Yes, well, I need to finish what he started." "Why did he not kill you?" "I guess he wanted me to suffer, but I slept through a lot of it. And now here I am out of my time in a century where everything is so strange. People connecting through these devices called smartphones and social media. What the fuck is this?" "Yes, well now, I'm going to kill you. I would like to see you try. I've fought many vampires. My father told me the stories of you, and his father before him, and his father before him. We are a generation of vampire hunters, starting with my great-great-grandfather, Abraham. Then Dracula shifts into a wolf as he charges towards Van Helsing. Van Helsing gets out a gun and pulls the trigger, as then Dracula turns into a flurry of bats before fusing back together to be in his vampiric state. Changing into his half-human, half-bat form, he fights Van Helsing and flies up with him, attempting to drop him, but Matthew then fires a gun that latches on to Dracula with a rope and breaks his fall. He then pulls Dracula down to the ground and vows to stake him in the heart. Showing him a cross, he places it on his forehead and then holds out a stake. Dracula then pushes him off and lets out a huge vampiric roar. Then, as he's about to go for Van Helsing, bright ultraviolet lights beam. Dracula, losing his bat form and going back into his human-like state, is weakened by this, saying, "What the fuck? They're UV lights, closest to recreating sunlight. This is you?" "No, it's not." Then, in his ear set, he hears Gloria and Stuart saying, "Matthew, what's going on? Matthew!" Then, Gloria is cornered by a SWAT team. As for Stuart, he too is cornered by a SWAT team out of the van. Then, Henry appears from the shadows, saying, "Gentlemen, take the monster into custody, and please lower your weapons at our guests." Guests? Yes, Matthew Van Helsing, isn't it? My name is Henry, and I think we have a lot to talk about. I need to kill that monster, and we will deal with him. And don't worry about your friends, Gloria and Stuart. The two are fine. They will meet us back at Prodigium. Prodigium? So you do exist? Yes, we do. And I want to talk some business with you, if you will let me. Then, they all are then taken to Prodigium, a secret organization which creates the illusion that man is alone, as people can never understand the world of the supernatural. Dr. Henry then says, "So what is your name?" "My name? Well, I'm Henry. Dr. Henry Jekyll. And I am the director, well, one of the directors of this facility, Prodigium. It was instated in 1900, as it was told that technology would advance, and it has. With the advancement of cameras and phones, people are able to capture glimpses of the supernatural, from UFOs to ghost sightings to Bigfoot to the Loch Ness Monster. We managed to brush it off as a hoax, but, of course, some people are a lot harder to convince than others. I'm sorry, what did you want with us?" said Stuart. "Ah, yes. I believe you two are siblings, and you are the descendants of Jonathan and Mina Harker, and I already know your place. How do you know us? We've been following you for some time. In fact, we're impressed. We're more than impressed with your tactics and skills. The way you hunt monsters, the way you pass the knowledge down from generation to generation. Yes, and I don't plan on having kids of my own, because I'm ending it here, and you stopped me. Please, Mr. Helsing. We could use Dracula for a lot of things." "Where is he now?" "He's in custody. He's been restrained and held." "Can I see him?" "Of course." Then Jekyll takes them to see Dracula as he sat in an interrogation room with UV lighting, keeping him weak and unable to move, transform, or do anything. He then asks Jekyll Van Helsing, "Can he hear us?" "No, but I think he knows we're there. I want to talk with him. Don't worry, as long as the UV lights are on, he can't do too much damage." "Wait, why do you want to talk to him? He's a monster." "We're not that better off, you know, humans. We're like monsters too. I mean, look at our history. Anyway, I'm going to speak with him, because he fascinates me too." Jekyll then enters the room and says to Dracula, "Good evening, or good morning. I haven't quite kept track of the time today, but I am Dr. Henry Jekyll. I am one of the few directors of Prodigium. Now, do you know what... I know what Prodigium is, said Dracula. My familiar Miss Renfield filled me in on everything about you people. Yes, she is quite a liability. The way she's been, well, knowing of vampires and monsters and other supernatural creatures, she is a bit of a thorn in our side. So, you are somewhere around 500 to 600 years old. Of course, you slept for quite some time, 127 years, and that was in the North Sea. What are you getting at? I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to get out of here, and I am going to kill Matthew Van Helsing, followed by those Harker siblings, and then my revenge will be complete. Then, after that, I am going to find some new whores, fuck their brains out, drink their blood, because I like it, and it makes my dick hard. Now, what are you going to do? We're going to keep you here, because you are a threat to society and mankind. Oh, am I? You know, you humans are no different. You see, before I was a vampire, and however history chooses to remember me before I was a vampire, they can, but back when I was a human, I saw so much fucked up stuff from humanity. The Turks, people, poverty, the things humans were willing to do to stay alive or sustain power. And in this day and age, from what I've seen, war has only increased, weaponry has increased. You people make weapons of mass destruction. You are killing this planet. Makes me glad that I am not one of you anymore. That's enough. Oh, what's that I see in you? What are you talking about? Oh, I see something in your eyes. Dracula then gets up and looks Jekyll straight in the eye, saying, oh, there's already something in there in you, isn't there? A monster. Yes. How have you done that now? How has the inner monster in you found a way? Enough! We're done here. I would very much like to see that other side of you. Jekyll then walks out. Matthew then says, let me kill him. No. We will restrain him here. He can't escape. I promise you, Mr. Van Helsing, he's not going anywhere. Now, as I said, with your hunting skills and you, Mr. Harker, with your technical skills on making weapons, and you, Miss Harker, with your know-how in computers, I think you could help us all out. Are you offering us a job? Said Van Helsing. Well, trial period, but yes, in the long term, we hope that you could work for us. Do away with your undercover outdoor store business and have a real job. You can name your price, and we'll pay it. How much money do you have? Said Van Helsing. Jekyll tells him, enough. What if we were to be wanting to get paid $1 million a year, plus 6-week holidays? Then, if that is your terms, then we agree to it. Really? Yes. Okay, then I guess I'm going to take that trial period. What about you two? Well, can we get regular sleeps here? Because we're not insomniacs like Matthew is here. Of course. And we can provide you with living accommodations, too. Really? Yes. Now, if you excuse me, I have to go back to my office. I'm expecting a call from another director of this facility. He's out on business dealing with something in the north. Excuse me. Jekyll then makes his way to his office, where he pours himself a glass of brandy, and then takes off his jacket and rolls up his sleeve. He then pulls out a refrigerated drawer where there are syringes with a substance in. He then injects himself with this substance, repressing whatever is in him. Looking at his reflection through the window of his cabinet, saying, I am in control, not you. And if I can find a way to keep this going on, I can definitely find a way to be rid of you. Because you're not getting out again. Ever. Then he hears a sinister cackle in his mind of a monstrous voice, and for a brief second his eye does not look human till he closes his eyes and shakes his head, and the serum takes effect. I can't control you forever, but I will find a way. I will find a way to get this evil out of me. You can't hide forever. Hide. Then Jekyll has a message tone on his phone saying, Dr. Jekyll, sir, your call, you have a call from Director Gray. Yes, I shall answer it, thank you. Meanwhile, Matthew and Gloria and Stuart are shown around the facility, and then Matthew says, you have quite the armed forces here and a huge variety of monsters. Yes, we like to keep busy. Well, thank you for the tour. Sorry, what's your name again? Sebastian. Very important we know people by name here. Matthew. Anyway, I hope to see you in the near future. It's very good. We have good hunters that make good recruits for this place. We could use people of your talents. Then Matthew says, well, looks like we've got a new way of life. Yes, we do. We've been quite the team for a while. Maybe it's time we joined a team, said Gloria. Yes, I haven't got anything particularly on. Me neither. Well then, let's not make any vast decisions yet. Let's do this trial period and really give him an answer after. Yes. Meanwhile, in his cell, Dracula sits on the ground. Then, something is dropped out of the ceiling. It's a bag of blood. Dracula then picks it up and starts drinking from it. Then Dracula is called, saying, Count, you have a visitor. I have a visitor? Then, on the screen, it's Tamara saying, Master, I'm currently in the process of getting you out. Getting me out? Yes. So women can be lawyers in this day and age. Yes, we can. I'm planning on finding a way to get you out. It's going to take time, but they have to charge you with something. They have. I have been charged with multiple murders or whatever. This place seems to have been founded by the church and other religious orders. Now it is some place that makes it hell here. But I plan to bide my time and study this place. I'll find a way out. I'm immortal. I have the patience. I've waited, slept for nearly 130 years, I can wait a little longer to get my revenge. Well, Master, I'll keep you posted. Thank you, Renfield. You are really starting to prove your loyalty to me. Of course. It is what us Renfields do. Then, Tamara hangs up on Dracula, and then she sees a cockroach crawling along the desk. She picks it up and takes a bite into it, with her eyes glowing as she feels that ounce of power that she has inherited from her bloodline from the Renfield clan. As for Dracula, he sits in his cell and begins to meditate as he thinks of a way to escape, and then looks up, knowing he's been monitored, and saying, "When I get out of here, and I will fucking kill you all so slowly and make it a misery." As he lets out a dastardly cackle. Somewhere out in the North Pole in the Arctic, a helicopter lands on a snowy cliff top. Stepping out of the helicopter is a man wearing a winter coat with long, shoulder-length dark hair and a small black moustache and little triangular chin beard. Wearing sunglasses, he walks out of the helicopter and looks down at a quarry where a team from Prodigium are digging something out of the ice. The man then makes a phone call on a radio phone saying, "Henry, it's Gray. We've found it." Then, as we look closer into the quarry of what the team are digging out, a creature, is frozen within the ice. It's alive.